Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that stood the test of time for a reason. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by life's challenges or wanted to approach life with more calm and clarity, Stoicism may be the key to unlocking that peace. In this video, we're going to explore 10 life-changing rules of Stoicism that can help you live a more intentional, peaceful, and empowered life. Let's get started. Rule 1. Control what you can control. First up, rule number 1. Control what you can control. The Stoics believe that we spend too much time focusing on things outside of our control. Whether it's other people's actions, the weather, or external events, stressing about things we can't change only leads to frustration. Instead, focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your responses, and your actions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By focusing on your own reactions and mindset, you'll find a sense of peace that is immune to external chaos. So, how do we apply this to our everyday lives? First, we need to acknowledge that stress, anxiety, and frustration often stem from trying to control things that are beyond our reach. For example, maybe you're stressed about an upcoming work deadline, or you're frustrated by a disagreement with a friend. What's happening here is that we're investing our energy in things outside our control, whether it's how others act or how quickly things will get done. But what if, instead of worrying about things outside our control, we focus on what we can control? We can control how we prepare for the deadline, how we communicate with others, and how we manage our emotions when things get tough. Rule 2. Practice gratitude. Rule number 2. Practice gratitude daily. The Stoics weren't focused on accumulating material wealth or external success. Instead, they emphasized appreciating what you have. Epictetus famously said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to take things for granted: good health, family, even a warm meal. But the Stoics had a different approach. They didn't just practice gratitude in times of abundance. They believed in being thankful for everything, especially the challenges that life throws our way. So, how does gratitude fit into Stoic philosophy? And how can you incorporate it into your daily routine? Let's break it down. But what exactly does it mean to practice gratitude in Stoicism? For Stoics, gratitude isn't about just feeling thankful when things are going well. It's about recognizing the value in every moment, whether good or bad. In fact, the Stoics believe that we should practice gratitude even for the hardships we face, because those challenges can teach us valuable lessons, develop our resilience, and help us grow as people. Start your day by appreciating the little things: your health, your relationships, or simply the fact that you're alive. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we cultivate contentment and avoid the trap of constant desire. Rule 3. Embrace adversity. Life will always present challenges. Instead of fearing them, Stoics believe we should embrace adversity as a tool for growth. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Next time you face a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of viewing obstacles as setbacks, see them as opportunities for personal growth. Think about physical training. When you lift weights or push your body to its limits, you experience resistance, adversity in the form of physical strain. But this resistance is exactly what makes you stronger. Similarly, in life, the resistance we face, whether emotional, mental, or circumstantial, builds our resilience and character. Without adversity, we wouldn't have the opportunity to develop these strengths. Embracing adversity is one of the most powerful practices you can incorporate into your life. It doesn't mean seeking out hardship, but rather approaching every challenge as an opportunity to grow, develop, and become the best version of yourself. The Stoics remind us that what stands in the way becomes the way. So, the next time life throws a challenge at you, don't resist it. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it as a tool for your personal growth. You've got the strength within you to face anything that comes your way. Rule number 4. Live according to nature. For the Stoics, living a virtuous life meant living in harmony with nature, understanding our place in the world, and accepting life as it is. Nature doesn't rush or resist, it simply flows. We, too, should accept life's natural course and not try to force things. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. said Epictetus. Trust that things will unfold as they are meant to. The Stoics believed that living according to nature was one of the most important ways to live a good life. But when they talked about nature, they weren't just referring to the trees, the sky, or the ocean, although all of those are part of it. For the Stoics, nature meant living in accordance with the natural order of the universe and, more importantly, living in alignment with our own human nature, our reason, our virtues, and our inner purpose. Living according to nature is about embracing your true nature as a human being, one that is inherently rational, social, and capable of virtue. It's about letting go of the pursuit of things that don't align with your true nature, like fame, wealth, and external approval, and instead focusing on living virtuously and in harmony with the world around you. In other words, Stoicism teaches us that we should prioritize reason, virtue, and wisdom above all else, and trust that the rest will follow. Rule number 5. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness. Self-awareness is a key principle in Stoicism. Being mindful of our thoughts, actions, and emotions allows us to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. We often think of mindfulness as a recent trend, something that's just come out of modern psychology or meditation practices. But if we look closely, Stoic philosophers were practicing mindfulness long before it became a popular term. For the Stoics, mindfulness wasn't just about staying present. It was about being fully aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and practicing self-control in how we respond to the world around us. Self-awareness and mindfulness in Stoicism are about understanding our thoughts, recognizing our emotions, and taking control of our reactions. When we live mindfully, we don't get swept up in the chaos of life. Instead, we pause, observe, and choose how to respond, guided by reason and virtue, not by impulse or emotion. But how can we practice mindfulness and self-awareness the Stoic way? Let's explore a few key Stoic practices that can help us build these qualities. So, if you're looking to live a more mindful and self-aware life, start by incorporating these Stoic practices into your routine. It's about taking the time to pause, reflect, and act with purpose instead of being swept up in the chaos of everyday life. Remember, mindfulness in Stoicism isn't about achieving perfection. It's about being aware of your thoughts and actions, learning from them, and choosing to respond with reason and virtue. The more we practice these principles, the more we can align our lives with the wisdom of the Stoics and lead lives of greater peace, clarity, and resilience. Rule number 6. Focus on virtue, not external success. Stoics didn't believe in chasing fame, wealth, or status. They believed in cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are the true markers of a successful life. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote really sums up the Stoic view on success. The Stoics believe that we don't have control over external events, but we do have control over how we respond to them. Our reactions, our choices, and our character, that's where true success lies. In other words, external success, like fame or wealth, can be fleeting and outside of our control. But virtue is something we can always cultivate, no matter what our circumstances are. So, what is virtue, and why is it so important in Stoicism? Virtue, according to the Stoics, is living in harmony with nature, exercising wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in all aspects of life. This means acting with integrity, doing the right thing even when it's difficult, and focusing on what is truly important, your character and how you treat others. The Stoics taught that virtue is the only true good and that everything else, wealth, fame, success, is indifferent. These external things can't truly bring us happiness or fulfillment. Only virtue can. Rule number 7. Don't take things personally. People's actions are a reflection of them, not of you. The Stoics taught us that we should not allow the behavior of others to affect our inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When someone does you wrong, it's not about you, it's about them." This mindset frees you from unnecessary emotional turmoil. The Stoics had a really unique perspective when it came to the way we respond to others. We all know how easy it is to get upset when someone criticizes us, ignores us, or says something hurtful. But according to Stoic philosophy, we don't have to internalize those comments or let them define us. In fact, the Stoics believe that the only thing we truly control is our response to external events, not what other people say or do. So, when we take things personally, we give away our power to someone else's actions or words. Epictetus, One of the most famous Stoic philosophers said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote perfectly captures the Stoic mindset. According to Stoicism, the things that happen to us, whether it's someone's criticism, a traffic jam, or a difficult situation, are not the problem. The problem is how we respond to them. If we take things personally, we allow external events to dictate our emotional state. But if we respond with reason, understanding, and emotional control, we maintain our inner peace. Rule number 8. Be present in the moment. The Stoics believed that the present moment is all we truly have. Don't waste time worrying about the past or future. Focus on what's right in front of you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Being present isn't just about putting down your phone or meditating for 5 minutes. It's about aligning your thoughts with the present moment, accepting what you can't control, and letting go of what's beyond your reach. In Stoicism, we focus on the dichotomy of control. We ask ourselves, what is in my control right now? The answer is simple: our thoughts, our actions, and how we choose to respond to the world around us. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can't control the cars around you, but you can control your reaction. You can either stress, fume, and waste that time, or you can be present, breathe, and let go of the frustration. By focusing on what we can control, we free ourselves from the anxiety of worrying about things we can't change. This is where true freedom lies, in the present. Journaling, like Marcus Aurelius did, is a great way to reflect on our thoughts and return to the present. By writing down what's on your mind, you gain clarity and distance from your emotions. You also train yourself to focus on what matters. Rule number 9. Don't seek validation from others. The Stoics believed that seeking approval from others was a form of slavery. Instead, find your worth from within. Focus on being the best version of yourself, not for praise or recognition, but because it aligns with your values and purpose. Seneca, another major Stoic figure, warned against becoming dependent on external validation. In his letters, he writes about how the pursuit of fame or the need to impress others is a hollow and dangerous path. He believed that living for the praise of others only leads to stress and dissatisfaction. A man is not good because he is praised, Seneca wrote. He is good because he chooses to be. His point? Don't rely on the fleeting approval of others. Instead, focus on developing your own character and actions. How to apply Stoic principles to stop seeking validation. So, how can we apply Stoic principles to stop seeking validation from others? Here are a few steps you can take. 1. Focus on your values. Know what matters most to you. When your actions align with your values, external validation becomes less important. The Stoics believed that living a life of virtue was the only true form of success. When you live by your values, you don't need others to tell you that you're doing well. Practice self-awareness. Spend time reflecting on your thoughts and actions. Like Marcus Aurelius, use journaling or meditation to keep track of your progress and keep your focus inward. Cultivate inner peace. Practice mindfulness and meditation. The more you develop a sense of inner calm, the less likely you are to be swayed by the opinions of others. You'll start to rely on your own judgment instead of seeking external affirmation. Embrace the dichotomy of control. Let go of things you can't control, like other people's opinions. Focus on what you can control, and you'll find peace in knowing that you don't need anyone else's approval to be valuable. Rule number 10. Accept death. Finally, the Stoics remind us that life is fleeting. We all will face death someday, but instead of fearing it, we should accept it as part of the natural cycle. By contemplating mortality, we are reminded to live with purpose, to not take time for granted, and to make every moment count. When we accept that life is temporary, we can live more fully and with greater appreciation. Stoicism teaches us that accepting death is not about being morbid or resigned, but about living a life that is more meaningful and purposeful. It's about recognizing that our time here is limited and that knowledge can be a tool for living our best life. One of the first things Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus remind us is that death is simply a part of nature. It's not something unnatural or terrifying. It's just another stage in the cycle of existence. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. By accepting that death is natural, we stop seeing it as an enemy or something to fear. It's part of life, just as the sun rises and sets every day. The more we embrace it as a natural process, the less power it holds over us. It may sound counterintuitive, but contemplating death actually makes us better at living. Stoic philosophers believed that frequently reminding ourselves of the impermanence of life makes us value each moment. When we live as if we'll never die, we often take life for granted, wasting time on trivial things. But when we embrace the fact that death is inevitable, we start to prioritize what truly matters. And there you have it, 10 life-changing Stoic principles that can help you live with purpose, peace, and resilience. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control the world around us, but we can control how we respond to it. These principles are a powerful tool for creating a life of clarity, meaning, and inner strength. Which Stoic principle resonates most with you? Let me know, and thank you so much for watching. If you found these principles helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more wisdom to help you live your best life. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.